Long,
Here.
McGilvery,
Here.
Nash,
Here.
Quarles, and Benjamin. We have 8 present.
Very good.
And Reed here.
Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty with justice and all. Okay, we need an approval for the agenda.
I'll move it.
There's a couple changes real fast, if I can go over them. The 2 presentations will be put off until October. And there's the one report, which is 11C, will be put off until October. And the 2 new items are DNR Fishery Habitat Program grant acceptance and a resolution approving Michigan Trails Weekend, September 20th to the 27th. So do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
Moved by Costin, supported by Vanderveen. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign, like sign for those opposed. Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of minutes from October 5th. We have a motion. August, I'm sorry. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Who was that, Greg?
Yes.
Greg and
Commissioner
Nancy.
Quarles has her hand up.
Yep, I see it now. Okay, is there any discussion or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Like sign for those opposed. Motion carries. Next, we have public comment. Is there anybody that wants to address the board? Hearing none.
Well, we do get Chris Bunch from Six Rivers Land Conservancy.
There, thank you.
Hey, Chris, this is Melissa. I have your presentation. Do you want me to put it up on the screen?
No,
Sure, if you can. that would be
Melissa?
fabulous.
Yeah.
we're not doing the.
Melissa, we're not doing that.
Got it.
Not-
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm Chris Bunch. I'm the Executive Director of Six Rivers Land Conservancy. I also happen to sit on the board of an organization called Heart of the Lakes, which is our statewide association. And I assume that you folks are a little bit familiar with the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund. And the fact that it's going to be on the ballot this fall. The trust fund is a fantastic program, unique in Michigan. It's invested over $1 billion in recreation and conservation throughout the state and put big chunks of that into your park system. So the ballot proposal this fall will change the funding formula of the trust fund, allowing it to spend more on development and redevelopment projects. And the other thing that it's going to do is allow it to do redevelopment and improvement. So this is a very important issue that's going to be on the ballot this year. A lot of folks like myself, and I'm sure many of you, believe that the trust fund is a huge and very important tool, and we're looking forward to seeing the ballot initiative pass. And the other thing it will do is lift the cap on the trust fund so that when the State Park Endowment Fund is full, all oil and gas revenue will revert to filling the trust fund. And so what we'll do is guarantee that oil and gas revenue from state land will always be reinvested in parks and conservation and recreation in the state, that it won't ever be diverted to other purposes. So this is a great, it's a great time for us. It's a really important question. It will do a great job augmenting your millage proposal coming up, which we're very excited to see. And so we hope that we can get the public out, recognize the value of our public lands and the trust fund and what it does for investing in our great resources here in Oakland County. So the other thing I want to mention, there is a presentation. I think it probably got inserted in your board packets, and in there is a link to a video. So if it was inserted in your board packets, you should be able to access that video just by clicking on that link. And it's a great video. I may be a little bit prejudiced because there's a couple of voiceovers in there from me, but it's a great video, and it's a fabulous tool to explain how important our public lands are and what they do for us as citizens of this great state. So I encourage all of you to take a few minutes to look at that video. It's very short. And if you're on social media or you have other ways in which you can share it, I encourage you to take that link and to share it around, because it does a great job of condensing all of this and really showing some great natural resources. And so the last thing I want to say to you is that, again, I'm very excited about your millage proposal that's coming up. And one of the things that we've talked about is that you guys will step into the lead in operating the Oakland County SISMA. Six Rivers has been doing that as fiduciary for a couple of years now. We're really excited about the opportunity to work with you guys and see you take the lead on it. We think it will be a big boost for the SISMA and a big boost for treatment of invasive species throughout all the communities in Oakland County. So that's pretty much all I've got for you. Looks like Dan has something.
Chairman McGilvery, I just wanted to add, would it be appropriate for us at our October meeting to have a resolution of endorsement potentially considered by the commission?
But I guess, yeah, I see why we shouldn't do that. I mean, that'd be fine.
Would it be timely, Chris and Andrea? Okay.
I certainly think so, and I know I'm on the agenda for St. Clair County Parks next week, and then also for the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners. And as I understand it, Michigan M-Parks has sent out a support resolution, a model support resolution for communities to adopt. So you should have something that you can work from to do that.
Yeah, we just got it today.
Mr. Vanderveen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chris, Dave Vanderbeek's my name. If it's not too long, could you read the ballot language?
Interestingly, the ballot language does not exist yet. As of yesterday afternoon, it had not been produced, nor had the actual ballot number. We firmly believe that it's going.
Chris,
Yes,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
interrupt you. Becca sent out an email this morning that the modified language was adopted, and it is number top 1.
Oh, all right. If you've got it, can you read it then, Andrea? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Sorry, I can get it. It might take me a minute to dig it up.
Mr. Chair, is there any way we could have something this month? Because a month from now, a lot of folks will already have voted. This is for this election, right?
Right. If you would give us, direction, we could send it all to you in draft form and get your consensus.
I just think the sooner the better. People will be getting their absentees real soon, and if they're not aware, they might not vote, and this would be a good way of getting it in front of them soon.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Chair, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair,
go ahead.
I don't know if we need a motion to move forward with the suggestion from Commissioner Nash, but I think we do. I was talking to a group of people just last night, had no idea that there's any ballot initiatives in Oakland County, and certainly wasn't aware of Parks and Rec. And they would be very supportive if we could get something over to them and get it there early.
Dan, how do we want to work this? Can we approve a resolution? How do we want to do this? If we can do it right now, we can add it to the agenda and do it. You're on mute. You're on mute, Dan.
Andrea, you've got a copy of well, we've got the M Parks. We could pull that up. If you want to put it on the agenda as 13C, we could probably whip something together.
Okay, let's do that. We'll make that, add that to the agenda as 13C, a resolution in support.
Gonna have to modify.
Yeah,
Mr. McGilvray, could you be more specific on resolution to support what?
go ahead, Chris.
Resolution to support Proposition 1, the trust fund ballot initiative question.
And I do have the language up on my screen. If anybody wants to see it, I can try and share it.
If you would, Andrea, go ahead.
Okay. Phil or Melissa, can you make me a presenter for a minute?
You're a presenter.
Perfect, thank you. Right here. Can you see that?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
good job.
Bill, could you post the M Parks template?
Yeah, let me try and find it.
I like it.
Looks good to me.
One question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
How much is in the balance right now? You say until it reaches 800 million. What is it now, roughly? Chris, do you know?
You know, I don't remember off the top of my head what the State Parks Endowment Fund is at. I think it's around 250 or 300 million. The projection is that it's going to take ostensibly up to 30 years for it to reach the cap of 800 million before the funding reverts back to the trust fund. But the reason for this action now is twofold. One is let's get it resolved before the money becomes available and people have other ideas for it. And two is the shift in the funding formula, which makes more of it available for the development side of the trust fund program.
Thank you. This the same program that used to be called the Terry Hammer Fund, didn't it? Wasn't he the senator from Michigan that started that?
Well, he was the state senator who did the lion's share of the work to get it started, along with Bob.
The sample resolution is on screen. We would just need to fill in the highlighted yellow parts.
Okay. Just hang on to that for right now, Phil. We'll make that item 13C, and we'll vote on it there. Okay, is that about it on this, or?
Yes.
Do you need to amend the agenda?
We have a motion to amend the agenda.
Support, Your Honor. I mean, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Costin, you making the motion, supported by Vanderveen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign for those opposed. Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is, oh, Chris, thank you for your presentation. It was very nice.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the action. Thanks for helping us get this thing done. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
Thanks, Chris.
Next, we have under 8, communications, A.
Commissioner Long has something, Gary.
Yeah, I have a question, Gary, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have the agenda on my phone. Is there a way, do you guys have a link like we do, Gary, at the board where it goes right to the page, or we have not done that for parks? I'm asking you, Gary, you know, because I'm on my phone, so sometimes his phone is different.
I don't know because I don't use the one online. I get a paper copy, so.
All right, does anyone know, like, if you touch an agenda item, does it go right to that page, or do I have to scroll down to page 280 every time a new agenda item? So I guess I'm requesting, Vicki, if we can't do that, can you get with the Board of Commissioners and you hit the item number and it goes to that page? It's a lot easier to follow the agenda online if we can do that.
I can, but right now, if you show the bookmarks should show you the topics on the left. And then you can click on that instead of scrolling. Can you do that?
I don't know, I'll try, but it's just easier. They have it in blue and you hit it. Gary knows what I'm talking about. And you hit it and it'll go to the right page. If we're gonna do online, I would appreciate if we can invest some time in doing that for all of us. It's just easier, I think. I'll try the bookmarks though.
Okay.
I've never done that, but I'll try that. Thank you.
All right. Under communications, Jeff, do you have a report on capital improvement expenses?
Yes, referring to pages 19 and 20 of today's agenda. There are no items requiring additional unrestricted funds on the agenda. And your balance as of July 31st, 2020 is 21.4 million. And that's a reduction of about 1.1 million this month.
Last month.
Any
Yes.
questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to the, thanks, Jeff. We'll move on to the consent agenda. We have items A through L. Is there any discussion or questions? Chris?
Oh, I'll move on A through L.
Okay. Moved by Chris. Is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Constant. Is there any discussion or questions? Seeing none, can we have a roll call vote on that, please?
Commissioner Herzog,
Yes.
Mr. Jamian,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes?
Ash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
and Bagley. 9-0.
Very good, thank you. Next, we'll move on to the regular agenda. First item is A, final approval of the proposed 21-23 Parks budget. Do we have a motion?
So
Motion by
moved.
Quarles,
I support.
supported by Nash. Is there any questions or presentation, Dan?
Well, I would request the commission to approve as presented, and thank the commission and staff for your diligence in this budget cycle. The COVID pandemic definitely created some interesting obstacles for the budget cycle, but I think everyone did an excellent job. The next step from your final approval is to submit this to the Board of Commissioners for their consideration on September 23rd. And I respectfully report that plans for the fiscal 22 through 24 budget has started in earnest. Mike Donlin and our operations staff have been, and planning staff have been working on projections and project funding for next year's budget. So at the October meeting, I will present to you the schedule for that budget process. I thank you again for your efforts in the budget study sessions that we had. I thought we had some good questions and some good exchange, and thank you very much.
Okay,
Commissioner McGilvery, this is
yeah, go
Mike
ahead.
Just a quick clarification in item A2. Conceptual, in the second line, it says conceptual approval. This is just approval. Should just say approval on there. It shouldn't be conceptual. I just noticed that. Sorry, Dan.
Got it, Mike.
Okay. Dan, how do we want to do this? Vote on all three, 1, 2, and 3? One motion?
Well, that is your pleasure
All right,
and our pleasure too.
okay.
Maybe.
Any other questions or concerns? Bob, did you have a question?
I was just waving my arms around smiling, sorry.
Okay, so if we can have a roll call vote on item A, 1, 2, and 3.
Commissioner Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen.
Yeah.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
and Jamian.
Yes.
Motion passed 9-0.
Very good, thank you.
Got a pleasure.
Next, we'll move on to the 2021 annual vehicle permit fees. And that's Jim Donlin.
Not done, lady. I'm here. How you doing? Just really quick, we are looking at our annual park pass fees and our daily park pass fees for 2021. We're looking at actually maintaining the same fee that we had in 2020. And we'd like to get your approval today. There is a little bit something new that we're adding to this. It is something with, if the millage passes, we're looking at adding language to provide annual vehicle permits for resident seniors, active military, veterans, and persons with permanent disabilities. And if the millage passes, this is what we'd like to move forward with. If it doesn't pass, then we'd like to maintain the fees as we have in 2020.
Okay, are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, can we have a roll call vote on items D, 1, and 2?
Can I get a motion, please?
Motion by Quarles. Supported by Costin.
Mr. LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Jamian,
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
Motion passed 9-0.
Thank you. Next item we have is an update on the Oakland County Parks and Recreation millage. Dan?
That will be led by Stephanie Mackey. She is our coordinator for that work group. She also successfully managed us as a staff for the 2010. So she comes with a lot of experience and a lot of enthusiasm.
I am excited to share with you today. Phil, could you make me a presenter, please? In addition to the material in your packet, staff's been working very diligently to, sorry, this go-to is new for me. Can you see my screen? I'd like to share with you our website. If I can get to it here. Sorry, a little technical. Okay, here's our website. And from our homepage, what you'll see is our beautiful banner. This is our beautiful logo that's going up on Telegraph. I believe Jim and some of his staff put that up and installed that on Telegraph Road last Friday. And either from this banner image or scrolling over here, we've added the tab where you'll see the 2020 millage. You'll be able to get into the landing page. We've also put a QR code on a couple of items that I'll go over in a minute, but our staff have put together this content of the beautiful landing page that describes the information on the millage, includes the frequently asked questions, but we're really going digital this year, and we're encouraging folks to use our digital toolkit that you'll find over on the left. So here's this text that we are working with staff as our voicemails and our interactions. We can say, did you know the park system's been funded by a millage that's never increased since 1966? And then the basic ballot is on November 3rd. It's a millage replacement and increase with the language and the keynotes there that you see. But then within the digital toolkit, we've got our social media handles, our Facebook frame that you're going to start to see. Several of the staff have used this already. We have the email block that staff are putting on their email, standard email messaging that can be very easily copied and used in your own communications. And then the beautiful poster. So this poster was designed originally to go up in all of the restrooms across the park system. Working with Commissioner Vanderveen to have something posted in county campus buildings, this was redesigned to an 8x11. So from this link, it'll print real easy, and you're starting to see this protect, outreach, reinvest, and increase access. And you'll start to see those messages on many of the different communications coming out from staff. And then we did put together a text message. The signage is being installed. This is the beautiful 3x5 sign that's going up across all park entrances in accordance with the ordinances in their local communities. And these were also printed in yard sign size, so 18 by 24 inches, that is an easy H-wire install. So we had to order 150, and about 40 of them have been allocated to our recreation programs and services mobile units, and a few trailheads where it made sense to install the smaller size. But we do have a quantity of these, and we'll be reaching out to our community partners who might want to host a yard sign. So if that's something that you're interested in for your municipality, your business, et cetera, please get a hold of staff so that we can set those aside and make arrangements for you to have those. We do have about 100 of them still available. And the other significant at our golf courses, this was designed to be the golf court visor. So it works in conjunction with the poster for the restroom because we focused on the reinvest and increase access. In the reinvest block, we do have what the question is, what the homeowner rate will be, and then also the reasons for the increase, which we've summarized and we're using consistently. And then in hard copy format, we have this information card. So it's a two-sided piece that's about a third the size of a sheet of 8x11 paper. And it really lists all the messaging. So we printed these in hard copy quantity and distributed these out to staff along with a staff overview presentation, the digital toolkit that you've seen, some scripting language that you saw in your commission packet, and some other items. So the last piece I wanted to go over before we take questions would be the 10 items, and we are working to add this to, our community outreach. But we put together a list, and we started with staff, and then we started thinking about our partners, and we included this in your packet as well. But the idea of blasting the messages out on social media, and we put our handles on the online for you, the website where we have all of the information, using the digital toolkit. We're working with community partners to take video testimonials, and we have a scheduled series of testimonials that will be going up soon. The kickoff is an introduction from Dan, and then we're probably going to put them up every Tuesday throughout September with some various community partners, natural resources partners. And we are encouraging our community partners, if they wanted to do their own for their local community, that's an option for them. And then hosting the sign I mentioned, using the text that we put together on the website for the email and the text messages, the Facebook frame, the millage poster is available in the 8x11. We could certainly order hard copies if you're interested. So with that, I'm happy to take questions or discussion, any feedback and suggestions.
Stephanie?
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Stephanie, could you just briefly talk about the outreach that we're formulating and the idea of some town meetings countywide?
Well, first we're going to get into households. I forgot, thank you with the outreach. I forgot to mention going to households. Staff did design this as, originally we discussed this as our absentee voter mailer. So we put the images and the high level on the front with that same banner sign, and then on the back, a variety of photos and high level discussion points. What was interesting when we met with the county executive staff, they had recently done some COVID awareness, and they actually sent information to all of the registered voter households in Oakland County. And we worked with them and we discussed, and we are on target to send this, and on budget to send this to 490,000 registered voter households in Oakland County. Right now, we're just working through the details of the timing so that we're not too far ahead. We were scheduled to send this the week of September 14th, but we don't want to be too far ahead of the absentee ballots being distributed in communities. So we're confirming our mail date on that. And then staff are also in discussion about opportunities to do virtual town hall meetings where historically we would have gone to the board meetings of the cities, villages, and townships and presented. But the best way to do that in a virtual environment. We do have, we're finalizing our 9-minute professional video overview that will be hosted on our website, and putting together a digital packet with some of the materials you've seen, trying to drive people to that website to download as needed, and then also linking to canned video messages. Does that cover that, Dan?
Yep, thank you.
For sure. This is one of the examples of where you're going to see that QR code. The other place we put it was a park information sign. They're like bulletin boards throughout the park system in a kiosk. And we have upcoming fall activities with some beautiful fall graphics. We featured the grand opening of the ORV park date, and the farmers market is very active throughout fall with some fall camping. So some different activities. And then we also put the millage, similar to the look of the golf cart visor, talking about the reinvest and increase. And we put the QR code on that poster as well. And it, again, drives you to the website.
Okay. Thanks, Stephanie.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Are there any questions of Stephanie or Dan? Dave?
Stephanie or Dan, are there any funds in the citizens group where some of, I guess what triggered my thought was, Stephanie, you're talking about the yard signs. Where we, instead of saying vote November 3, we could say vote yes, November 3?
That's on behalf of the citizens group who are meeting next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. They are planning on purchasing 1,000 votes yes.
Good, thank you.
Just, this is Jody. Can I just jump in here quick? Remember, we can't use taxpayer dollars to advocate for or against any.
That's why I suggested the citizens.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions or discussion? Thanks so much. Next, we'll move on to item D, which is Orion Oaks LJ Construction License Agreement Extension to May 31st, 2021. Mike?
Yep. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Just on page 147 of your package is a memo for the LJ Construction License Agreement, just real simply. But COVID's put them behind schedule as far as their Paint Creek Trailways project, in which they're using our storage yard for material storage, lumber, gravel, and materials and equipment. And in turn, this fall, hopefully we can get the storage yard, most of the storage yard removed and restored to a natural state. They're doing all of the earthwork, they're doing all of that, and we're doing the rest of it in-house, i.e. soil erosion, control fence lines, gates, and things along that line. So with COVID and with the weather, the unpredictable weather in the fall, we concluded that we, to save time and effort, so we don't have to come back in December possibly, that we would just extend this agreement to May 31st, 2021. So we're getting a good value out of their earthwork, and we'll get something restored back to a native state. Any questions?
Having no questions, we have a motion. Motion by Amanda, supported by Greg. We have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McGilvery,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Damian,
Yes.
Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have a recommendation on the Oakland County Parks and Rec sponsorship sales RFP. Melissa?
Good afternoon. So this is a follow-up and a contract recommendation from the RFP that the commission approved for us to put out earlier this year. Sorry there. So we, I don't know if some of our commissioners might remember, we put the same or a similar RFP out in 2017 and didn't get any bids. I'm happy to report that we got 4 bids on this RFP, 3 of which were very, very good. It was actually a tough decision, which we like to have. We like to have good options. So we had 4 bids. We decided to interview 3 different firms. The firm, if you look on page 163, you can see the bid tabulation there. We are at this time recommending a contract with Marks Lane and Company. Folks might be familiar with them. They're a very well-known Oakland County company. They do really good work. They've worked with the county before. They know the county, they know the county parks, they know the companies in the county. And we just felt that they were the best fit for our organization. Financially, their bid was, we thought, the best as well. They're offering up a retainer of $3,250 a month, so it's just under $40,000 a year. And then they would also keep 15% of all sponsorships secured for the park system. Compared to some of the other bids that came in, we thought that that was the most favorable for us. The retainer amount is very reasonable and very doable for us. And then the low percentage that they would retain made that very attractive to us. And again, the overall goal will be, for them to bring in enough that would cover that retainer and then obviously go above and beyond that as well. So that we're overall, making some money off of this contract and bringing in some new sponsors and partners to the park system. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but we're recommending a 3-year contract. The total retainer would be $117,000. When we put out the RFP back in the spring, we did not budget specifically for this project, but staff do feel comfortable that we will be able to absorb that retainer, the $39,000 in 2021 in our existing contracted services line item.
Greg?
Yeah, is it typical that the vendor would take a percent of sponsorships? That's typical? I've never.
It is.
heard
Yep,
of it.
it's very typical. The other bids also did that. The one that did not do that had a very high monthly retainer. But there were two that also that were higher in terms of the percent. One was taking 50% of what they brought in, and I think one was around 30 to 35%. So that is very common.
Yeah, I know, like, I'm involved with some nonprofits, and you really have to be careful on how you structure the people that go out and get grants, that sort of, as far as giving them a commission off the money they bring in. I just wasn't sure if that applied here or not, but.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Commissioner Quarles?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nancy.
Thank you. How many bids did you get for the project? And then the second question, you said that this one that was selected does work with the county and the Parks and Rec in particular. Could you just tell me a few, maybe one or two other projects that they've worked on before?
Yeah, so we got 4 bids in total. And of those, 3 kind of stood out from the 4. So we interviewed 3. And in terms of their past work with the county, recently they worked with the county on the Oak 200 campaign. So just within the last year, they've been on the county, had a contract with the county. We have not worked with them specifically at Parks. I personally have worked with them in a previous position, so I have some experience with them. And I know the county as a whole has been very happy with the services that they've provided.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion on this?
I'll move it.
Moved by Costin, supported by Vanderveen. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Jamian,
Yes.
Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Very good, thank you. Next, we'll move on to item 11A, update on operational plan for Oakland County Parks facilities.
That's
Dan?
Yes, on page 186 in your packet, this piece is updated weekly and is a good reference point for the commission staff and the general public of the status of our facilities and programs. And we'll continue to provide this to you as part of our weekly newsletter and then monthly in your packet.
Okay. And do we need to make a motion to receive and file that?
You can, yes, please.
We have a motion to
So
receive and
moved.
file. Moved by Nash, supported by LaFontaine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign for those opposed. Motion carries. Next is Financial Sustainability Work Group. Sue?
Good afternoon. I have included in your packet, I haven't included, Jeff has included in your packet the comparisons for your review, just so you know we're on pace to be at approximately $2 million shortfall because of COVID. I have to applaud staff in that they've done a wonderful job cutting expenses where they can. We can control about 4 line items in our budget. Grounds maintenance, building maintenance, staffing, in some other small line items. So they've done what they could not to expend money out of those line items. I also included the update from the Fiscal Sustainability Committee meeting, and I appreciate everybody's input. What we are doing is we are still reviewing, and that is on page 196. We are still reviewing Waterford Oaks Water Park. Staff is in the process right now of working to get a complete structural and mechanical inspection of the facility, well as the possibility of any of that as use type of other feature. For example, could we utilize filtration we utilize systems at the water for spray stuff is to come back to the subcommittee with information. Also, we are evaluating ability providing will be proving at the next rentals, as well as we continue to evaluate golf. And Tom, I want to bring on where we are with golf this year.
Yes, this year, we had a slow start, but the last month of July and August has really.
Okay, go ahead. Pass it on to Pete.
I'm having trouble
You're
hearing.
really breaking up badly.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I think she's frozen up now.
Yeah.
Dan,
We're
get a-
update on the golf real quick. The golf has really been up the last July and August. We've had some great weather and rounds, and just with everybody wanting to be outside, we can see everybody's playing golf. So it's good to see. Courses are packed. Their revenues are up to previous years, and we're definitely down from before because of the slow start of everything we had to deal with. But the participation is definitely up now, so it's across the board at all 5 golf courses as well. So they're definitely on a trend of golf being very popular again.
So one of the items on the fiscal sustainability, we're looking at having a committee meeting at 11:30 prior to the October 7th commission meeting.
Okay. Is that it, Dan?
That completes.
Question, Jay.
Dave, go ahead.
Tom, that's a great report. Doesn't surprise me. But have we got any idea about how we're coming on the balance of revenue versus expenses on the golf? Or is that what?
And expenses are hard, so we're up behind on those, so we got all those totals in. I know the expenses are down from previous years. I don't have the number until we get closer to the end here. Revenues we're able to track, day by day, right up to the exact minute, but expenses are slower to track. We are doing everything we can to keep those expenses down.
Okay, I thought it was premature, but I thought I'd ask anyway. Thank you.
Tom, do you want to tell them about the well at Lion?
The Lion Oaks, I have an irrigation well that fills the irrigation pond for the whole property, which is the park. soccer field and golf course. The well had failed, the pump itself. So that was a replacement of the 6-inch well. That was an unanticipated expense. So it included the 60 horsepower pump, motor, and along with the 6-inch piping for the well itself. So it's original well to the property. It's over 20 years old. So it was an expense that we had to replace the whole thing to get it up and going. That well is critical to the operation. Without that, we only have 5 days of irrigation water for the whole property. Without that, we don't have grass on the golf courses. So we had to get that replaced, which was an expense of just over $30,000.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay. Hearing nothing else on that, we go to Holly Oaks ORV Park update. That's Melissa.
Okay, is my screen up there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so there is a lot going on at the park. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it. Here is a quick update on Mount Magna. The logo, the insignia, and the note that you see at the bottom there is going to be the sign that Magna's putting up, which we thought was really clever, the Let's Play and the hashtag Magna Rocks. So that'll go on the side of Mount Magna. You can see on the right the dyeing process, where the intent is to dye it kind of that sandstone red color so that it looks like it came straight out of Moab, Utah. So we're working on that. I'm trying to get the color just right, but it's coming along and it's going to be ready to go by the time we open on the 17th. Staff has been working over at Mount Holly. This is a shop for those maybe who haven't been in there. The ski school window is actually where our operation is going to be out of when we're at Mount Holly. So our staff have been over there working to figure out our point of sale and our procedures and how we're going to work all of that. We are going to be really heavily pushing people to buy their tickets online, especially in these first couple months that we're open. One, because it'll make it easier on our very limited staff. And two, just because of COVID, if we can limit the number of people that are going in and out of Mount Holly and having to manage that queue, it'll be a lot easier for everybody. I think I have mentioned in the past that Mahindra has been a great supporter of the park. On the right there is a contact station that they donated to us that our staff have been working really hard on making some upgrades to it and getting it into a position where we can use it right there at the entrance of the park. They also connected us with PackVan, which you can see on the left there, the shipping container that they donated to us that we've been using to store vehicles and equipment at the site. So we're very grateful for that. And then just a couple shots of things that are going on within the park. On the left there is the gatekeeper that was built for the Rim Runner Trail that kind of is on the kind of northeast section of the park that's open currently. And just a really good example of how our staff has creatively used a lot of found objects to build what's going on out at the park, and it's coming together really nicely. That photo on the left is what that Rim Runner Trail looks like. It's a really cool trail that kind of weaves and winds through some grassy, meadowy areas out there. And then the right is the current shot of the parking lot. The fence that our staff built looks really nice, and the asphalt millings are working out really well as well. Again, just a couple shots how we're using found materials to help delineate different sections of the park and keep it safe for everybody so they know where they should be and where they shouldn't be. The picture on the right is one of 2 RTI ramps that were donated to the park, and these are kind of, I mean, you can see what he's doing there, just kind of checking the articulation of the axle. Something that a lot of guys like to do with their larger vehicles out there. So we'll have a couple of those out at the park for people to play on as well. Advanced Concrete Products out of Highland has donated a lot of concrete out at the park. These are big septic tanks, essentially. So they donated several of these and then a lot of big slabs of concrete that they've been bringing out to the park for us. We don't have an exact plan for them yet. We're kind of stockpiling them, but we have a lot of really cool ideas about ways that we want to use them. Just a couple shots of the some additional Bronco launch activity that happened at the park in mid-August that Dan and I went out for. Just really neat to see how they're using the park and to see everybody's excitement. The top Ford executives were out for this that day and everybody was really excited. Just a reminder that we are still hiring. We are having a hard time getting staff, partly due to COVID, partly due to the timing of back to school and a number of things. We do not have all the staff that we need to open the park, which is opening in a few weeks. So you'll see a lot of, if you're out there, you'll probably see a lot of our existing staff chipping in and putting in some extra time and hours out at the park while we get fully ramped up. But if you know anybody who's looking to work, especially at an ORV park, send them our way. We'd like to talk to them. So because we have limited staffing right now, we did readjust the hours for when we open this fall. The opening weekend, which is Thursday, starts Thursday, September 17th, will be open Thursday through Sunday as kind of that kickoff grand opening of the park. After that, we're just going to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through November. Originally, we would have been open on Thursdays as well, but we had to cut that day out. So we'll still be open on the weekends, at least through the end of November. We'll reassess kind of late October, early November, see what our staffing situation looks like. And at that point, we'll announce what the hours will be for December through the winter, or if we might have to temporarily close for a few months in the winter and then ramp back up in the spring. But we will keep the commission posted on that as we go. You all should have received the invitation for the ribbon cutting. It is next Friday, the 11th of September. From 3 to about 5:30 in the afternoon. From 3 to 4:30 is just tours, which we're happy to take folks on tours of the park. But if you want to come out just for kind of the press conference component, that'll start at about 4:30. We are, I think right now, Desiree can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're close to 80 registered. I know a few commissioners have RSVP'd and a few county commissioners. Ruth Johnson will be attending. Representative Melissa Slotkin will be attending. So we're really excited about that. If you have not RSVP'd and you plan to come, please let Vicki or myself or Desiree know ASAP, just because we want to make sure that we are following the governor's orders and we don't want to have more than 100 people out there for this event. So we're going to be pretty strict about that. So let us know soon if you haven't RSVP'd but you'd like to attend. And then immediately following that, our ribbon cutting is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the Detroit 4Fest. I know Commissioner Vanderveen is headed out for that, which sounds like a lot of fun. If anybody else wants to come out for that event, let me know and we can put you, we can talk to the event organizer. So this is not our event, it's a put on by Z Performance, but we can put you on the VIP list for that as well, if that's something you'd like to attend. I know they are expecting a lot of bigger vendors, sponsors for this event. Jeep and Ford, General RV, who's a partner of ours, will be out there, and lots of others. So it's looking to be a good event. And then just a reminder of that public opening again on September 17th. I know that's a lot, and there's a lot more going on out there that's not in here. So if there's any questions, feel free to ask.
We have any questions? Melissa, I have one.
Yeah.
Regarding the 4Fest festival itself, we're limiting for the grand opening to 100 people. Is 4Fest limiting their attendance?
They are not. They are limiting their attendance. It's not to 100 people. They do have a COVID-19 plan that we have seen that essentially divides the event up. Last year, if you remember, if anyone went there, everything was up on the Dixie Ledge. All the different vendors, that vendor village area was up there on the ledge. They are spreading it out throughout the entire park now. So each vendor will have a different area, very spread out over the 113 acres. And they're going to be monitoring very closely the number of people out of their vehicles that are in and out of those different vendor areas to keep that to a minimum amount. And they're going to have mask requirements and health screenings and all the other components in place. So they are responsible for that COVID-19 plan. Sue, I don't know if there's anything you want to add, but at this point, to go.
They got approval from the health department.
Okay. Any other questions of Melissa and or Sue or Dan?
Yes. Once the park is in full operation, will a window sticker or a park pass go in or an additional?
You cut out just a little bit, sorry, but I think you'll have to have your DNR ORV stickers. So you'll have to have your ORV sticker and your ORV trail sticker, and then you'll have to pay to get into the park itself. But you won't have to have a recreation passport, and you won't have to have an Oakland County Parks annual vehicle.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Marshall? Nancy Coral, how are you? Good. I was just reminding you that.
Nancy, can you mute, please? Thanks. Any other questions? Hearing none, I guess we'll move on to the executive officer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Upcoming events for September are listed on pages 200 through 202. We do have our next commission meeting being Wednesday, October 7th at 1 o'clock, and that currently will be a teleconference. The executive committee meeting is in a couple of weeks, September 21st at 1 o'clock. If you look at page 203, we had a very nice young lady and her mother who generously donated a free little library for Catalpa Oaks. And Tom and his South District staff have worked with them to install it and to make it a little more weather tight. Golf course season pass information we hope to have for the October meeting. One of our past consultants, Leon Younger, has a number of examples of membership passes across the country that he is going to share that with our staff. We followed up on Oakland Urban Growers that they have dissolved, and right now they will be held on the books for what they owe us for the next 5 years, but Corporation Council is not expecting any monies to flow our way. Pictures of the Bronco, that was a worldwide release back on August 11th at Holly Oaks ORV. We did send that off-road vehicle ordinance to Corporation Council, and we did provide that to the Road Commission just for their review. We're working on a report for the COVID-19. Phil, is there any update on that?
No, I've not been able to get a response, no.
Okay. Then we have a list of your upcoming commission meetings through the rest of the year. And then Desiree and her communications and marketing staff have their monthly report on pages 209 to 228. And then I have a couple additional items to share with you. If you want to save the date, Catalpa Oaks ribbon cutting is currently planned for Friday, October 2nd. We're also working with the Board of Commissioners for some sort of ribbon cutting or dedication for the boat cleaning equipment that Parks and Recreation will work with its partners to provide those countywide on some sort of a schedule for next year. We are hoping to dispatch the 2 units, which total close to $80,000, to have those scheduled for like Cass Lake this fall and maybe Independence Oaks in our park. Groveland Oaks, we've lost a number of staff there to COVID, as well as employees going back to school. So we have some new hours, and we may be modifying those hours through the rest of the camping season. And that completes my report.
Thanks, Dan. Are there any questions?
One, Gary.
Go ahead, David.
What's the status of the beaches at Independence?
The beach at Independence, continues to be monitored with the health department. We had such high counts that the 30-day, you can't exceed a 30-day average. So now that's what we're dealing with. Staff does hope that we may be able to open that up if the weather's nice in the latter part of this month.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Dan, I did hear of a grant program through the DNR, I believe, regarding beaches that are contaminated by the, I guess, geese. Are you aware of that?
I am not. Anybody on staff?
I am not, but we will definitely look into it.
Okay, I saw something in the newspaper. I'll see if I can find it and I'll get it to you.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Good catch, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Okay, executive committee update. There's not a lot to say. We mostly worked on trying to prepare for the millage question that'll be on the ballot in November. We discussed that a little bit, and so that's really all I've got. Is there anything else? Dave, do you remember anything that we should bring up?
No, I think you covered the essence of it.
Okay.
Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And maybe Chris and Nancy and can answer this, and maybe you can. Did this language go before the board, and has it been approved? The Board of Commissioners, the ballot language that we worked on?
Yes, it did.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay, do we have any old business? Having none, we'll move on to new business. We have item A, which is a DNR Fishery Habitat Program grant acceptance of $121,000. Melissa? You're on mute, Melissa.
Sorry, thanks. I was just saying thanks for letting us walk this on kind of last minute, and our friends at the DNR expressed their thanks as well. This is a program that we had applied to before late last year, and we just got the award notification a few weeks ago, and we just got the project agreement less than a week ago, which normally we would have gotten in April or May, but they were very behind just due to COVID and everything else. So this is a grant to help cover a percentage of the design, 72% of the design engineering costs for the removal of the Mill Pond Dam in Davisburg. This is that project that we've been working on with Springfield Township for quite some time. So the total project cost for the design engineering is $168,500. The grant, as you noted, is for $121,300. So then we will split the match with Springfield Township based on our agreement with them, where we will cover 55%, which is just shy of 26,000, and they would cover 45% or just over 21,000. So the DNR had asked us to get this signed and back to them before mid-September, which is obviously a very quick turnaround for us. So if the commission approves it today, it will go to Finance and the County Board of Commissioners tomorrow. So if there's any questions, I am happy to answer them.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, can we have a motion, please?
I would make that motion.
Motion by Nash, supported by Quarles. Nancy, do you have a question? Okay. Mr. Costin, did you have a question? I thought I saw your hand.
I did have a question, and there was litigation pending over the removal of that dam, wasn't there, Melissa?
There still is. It's still an ongoing conversation. I don't have a good update at the moment, but I know our corporation counsel has told us to just continue to move forward with the project as we have been.
Okay, I hear a lot of grumbling out there.
Yeah, it's
living around the water.
Yeah, it's definitely coming from a very small group of folks, but we'll see what happens with it. We're just going to move forward as we have been with the project.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion then by Nash, supported by Quarles, to approve the grant acceptance. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Damian,
Yes.
Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
and McGilvery.
Yes,
Motion passes 9-0.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under new business is a resolution approving September 20 to 27, 2020, regarding Michigan Trails Week. Dan?
Yes, this is a new item that was distributed to you last night. We would like to have you consider approval of this so that we could forward it on to the Board of Commissioners tomorrow, and that we could designate September 20th through the 27th of 2020 as Michigan Trails Week.
Any questions? Hearing none, I guess we need a motion first. We have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Chairman.
Motion by Jim. Is there a support?
Support.
That's a support.
Supported by Costin. You seen 2 or 3 hands going up, so. If we can have a roll call vote on that, please.
Commissioner Quarles,
Yes.
Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Damian,
Yes.
Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes,
and Nash.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
is there any other new business that needs to be brought up? Dan?
I just, whether it's new business, but tonight, Paul Zakos and I will be presenting in front of the Independence Township ZBA. And hopefully that'll be the one of the last steps in the effort to trade or the property and accept the donation of property at Independence Oaks, thus preserving the Bailey House for renovation by Clarkston, or preservation Clarkston.
Okay. Dave?
This question is San Morocco on the ZBA or the Planning Commission out there?
Planning Commission, yes. ZBA, no.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, and
Mr. McGilvery,
I would,
we need to add 13C, the new item from Chris Bunch.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
yeah, I was just gonna also indicate that Preservation Clarkston is receptive to having some sort of open house or some sort of limited gathering for us to get further publicity for the millage education and awareness campaign. So we'll be providing you with information on that when we have a date.
Okay. Well, okay, we have item C under new business. I forgot about because I didn't write it down. That's a resolution from Chris Bunch in regards to the item that'll be on the ballot in November. Is there a motion? Motion by Quarles. Is there a support? Support by Nash? Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, can we have a roll call vote on that, please?
Yes, Commissioner Vanderveen,
Yes.
Bagley, Herzog,
Yes.
Damian,
Yes.
Costin,
Yes.
LaFontaine,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes.
Nash,
Yes.
and Corals.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Very good. Thank you very much. I guess we have nothing else now. It's just adjournment. I just want to remind everybody about next Friday's opening at the ORV Park. If you can, try to make it. It'll be nice to see your smiling face in person for a change. So try to make it if you can. Is there anything else that needs to be brought up quickly? Hearing none, meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a great week.